The PlayStation 1 was home to so many classic games I never got to play, but I did have a demo disc that I played to death. And the one game on it that I played over and over again was this cool looking game called MediEvil. Gothic, horror inspired spooky designs with a comedic edge. It was so fun. I wouldn't get to play the full game until way later in my life. But now there are 3 different versions of the game? Oh man, we better get started here. In MediEvil, the evil sorcerer Zarok has returned to wreak havoc into the land of Gallowmere by brainwashing the citizens and raising the dead. This also means that the once brave heroic knight that led the charge to defeat Zarok, Sir Daniel Fortescue, has also been resurrected. But we knows better. Sir Dan is not the hero he was made out to be. He got hit by the first stray arrow shot by the opposing forces and died on the spot. But now, Sir Dan has a second chance to save the land of Gallowmere and become the hero that he was meant to be. Now that's all there is to the PS1 game and its PS4 remake. The PSP remake, however, adds this genie character named Al-Zalam, whose purpose is... to be annoying.
Oh, you remember Zarok at least. Yes, that madman is back from the exile. He has mastered the dark magics, has been waking the dead, turning good men evil. He turns this land bad quicker than tub of yak's cheese next to warm radiator.
I hate this guy, he never shuts up. A common problem with this PSP game. Yeah, let me get this out of the way now. The PSP version isn't the best. It's not bad, but the gameplay is stiff and repetitive and I hate the humor in it. Whereas the humor in the original PS4 remake are more akin to something like the Princess Bride style of humor, the PSP version fancies itself a Monty Python sketch and tries way too hard to be funny. And yes, I like British humor too, don't get me wrong, but these cutscenes go on forever and are funny like 10% of the time, which is a shame. I like how they make Sir Dan more pathetic in this game, but I still prefer the humor in the original and PS4 versions of the game.
How I pity the people of Gallowmere, that their fate should once again be in the hands of a chump like you. Still, I suppose it's not fair to take it out on them.
But regardless of which version you play, it can't be understated how cool these games look. The Tim Burton inspired art style is a treat, especially back on the PS1, and especially in the remake of this game. It looks beautiful. The PS4 remake nails the animation in addition to being a beautiful looking game. My favorite part being this character Jack of the Green. Like, yeah, you know, here he is in the original game, just talking head, but in the PS4 version, oh my god, this looks so cool. He's a stone head, so his animation style is reduced to make him appear more stone-like. Oh, that's so good.
Puzzles so fiendishly difficult, so perplexingly complex, that no man has ever solved them. Ha ha ha.
With the variety of locations we'll be visiting, it's really fun to see what the next place will look like. So with there being 3 versions of the game, we do have 3 options as to which version is definitive, but they do share at least a common core gameplay loop. MediEvil is level-based. Each level contains various items for you to find, some required to progress in other levels, especially after your paths branch off. So there's a good amount of backtracking, but your aim is to collect a chalice from each level so you can go to the Hall of Heroes. This is where one of Sir Dan's old comrades will give him a new weapon that usually directly replaces its pre-Hall of Heroes equivalent. But the gameplay is definitely not easy. It's an action-adventure game, but there's no lock-on, so you'll be flailing your weapon around trying to hit whatever you can, which may have been intentional since Sir Dan is a buffoon, unless you play the PSP version, which tried to make it more hack-and-slashy with a lock-on and light combo system. Ironically, by doing this, the gameplay just feels boring. At least the other versions are frantic. Yeah, the PSP version is the worst in my opinion. Play it if you don't like the other 2 and still want to give the series a chance. The PS1 version does have the nostalgia factor with a bit more moody with its art style, but the PS4 version takes the cake on this one. A complete faithful recreation from the original right down to the voice acting being reused.
The master meets with the demon from the mausoleum, hatching plots of purest evil. Forgotten nobodies would be wise to make themselves scarce.
It looks beautiful, plays really fun, and it's a perfect representation of the MediEvil franchise. Hopefully one day we'll get more MediEvil content. Maybe a remake of 2? Maybe a whole new game? I know this is very 2017 of me to say, but given its gothic roots, I genuinely would love a MediEvil Souls-like game. Think about it, a comedy-based Souls game where Sir Dan has to take down tough-as-nails bosses and gets made fun of every time he dies. It would fit the character and add way more to his journey of becoming a hero. As long as the humor isn't the PSP game. God, don't let that happen, please.